Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to start over again. I had some bikers come by, and I just didn't want to be interrupted. So just some current events lately. Being from Utah, I want to touch on Charlie Kirk's assassination and his funeral, and how we feel here in Utah. Or actually, I don't know how we feel. How I feel. Uh, but yeah, it's no specific story to tell today on my list of story ideas. I looked down the list and I didn't see anything that I wanted to talk about that much. So, okay, anyways, here we are out in Tunnel Springs again. And I'm just going to give you the 360 real quick. It's a beautiful day. And here I am, walking and talking. Okay, first of all, about Charlie Kirk. Oh, I'm so sad, but I was a little bit familiar with Charlie Kirk's, college campus things and, his debates. And I really enjoyed them. And as I listened to them, I think he had such a soft touch and the patience of Job in dealing with these rude college students. Many of them so rude and just, wow. He's self-educated, and I just love that. And I love his messages, and I love the way he treated the kids as if they were his own kids. And then, as I look at all the conspiracy theories, don't get me wrong, no one loves a conspiracy theory like I do, but I've just not seen anything compelling so far. But my biggest question of the whole thing was, where was the gun? What did the shooter do with the gun? How did he get up there? And then I finally stumbled upon a guy, I think he's from Arizona, yeah, a gun expert, and he just took that very same gun or something close to it, and showed how he could uh, disassemble it in like a minute, and stuff it in his pants and part of it in his backpack, and you could hardly unrecognizable. And then it all started to click. And then he showed how the one footage of the neighborhood of the shooter, where he's limping like this, he's definitely got something in his pants there. He's walking like his limp, kind of walking like this. And then after the shooting, he's running like the Dickens. So I had the question, where did he take the gun? Well, at first it didn't look like he was taking anything off the roof other than something that looked like a light jacket. And later we found out that this was a towel, a black towel, that this guy showed how he could break the stock and the barrel into two pieces, and then some other things, break it down and put it in his backpack, the scope and uh, the bolt action thing, part of the rifle. And he disassembled that with a screwdriver and like a minute. Or no. He assembled it in a minute. What puzzled me is, okay, first of all, I didn't see at first when I saw the video of the alleged assassin jumping off the roof, it didn't look like to me he was carrying anything other than a light jacket. But then this guy demonstrated. Look for it on YouTube. I can't remember the guy's name. You could search on YouTube somehow. A guy from Arizona, gun specialist. And he just shows it perfectly. And he also demonstrates with his 18-year-old son or friend of the family's, but with big baggy jeans on, and you cannot tell he's carrying a gun. But then, when he jumps off the roof, you can see him reach for this, now we know, a black towel. And if you look closely, there is like a 20 or 30 inch, it's something stiff under there. You can tell he's concealing something stiff under there. And then when he jumps off, he reaches over, grabs that, jumps and lands, and kind of tweaks his ankle a little bit and limps for like 2 or 3 steps, and then adrenaline kicks in and he starts running unimpeded with this thing in his hand. And you can see the towel as if it's like it's got a stiff, something rigid under there. But then here's my next question. He ran to that wooded area and stashed it, but it was assembled and in the towel. And the question came to me, why would he take the time, number one, to change clothes there and to reassemble the rifle? And then we found out with his texting with his significant other that he intended on going back and picking it up. So that kind of made sense. But still, if he's on the run and adrenaline pumping, I was thinking that you just stash it, dump it, not assemble it, not take the time to assemble it, but just stash it in the bushes. Then he went to his car and he said he had planned to go back and pick it up, but there was too many police cars around and could not do it. So we stopped in a fast food restaurant, and you see footage of him there and biding his time until like 6 p.m. and then he makes his way down to southern Utah. But I thought, why would he do that? Well, I kind of understand him wanting to go back and pick up the gun, but why would he bother to assemble it when he's on the run? I don't. That part of the investigation, I don't have a good answer on. But then, in his texting back and forth with his significant other, all these facts. And I saw something today that kind of made me think. He says, the way he texted those things to the friend, it gives you the impression that the friend knows already what he's talking about. Because if you just saw these random texts, I'm worried about fingerprints on the gun and tracing of it with the serial number, blah, blah, blah. My grandpa will be mad if I don't give him back his gun. I was like, wow. With no real explanation, just one line comments that elicits questions from the friend. But if the friend had no prior knowledge to this, you'd be going, what are you talking about, dude? But no, the friend knows exactly what he's talking about and seems to be, what? You did it? Why? You know, quick answers. And I don't know. It's just that whole scenario is kind of bizarre. And then there's all kinds of weird things and conspiracy theories. I've even heard this woman cop in Japan pontificating or trying to solve the case, and she doesn't say anything that has much credence to me, but she shows the men standing behind Charlie Kirk, and it looks like they're a third base coach giving hand signals to somebody out in the field. I go, what in the world is that all about? And then when Charlie Cook is shot, you see his t-shirt puff up with air, and then almost see the outline of a a breastplate or some armor, which I can't remember if he officially had on or didn't have on. But this this t-shirt puffing up with air from below, it looks like, and then this gun expert, or maybe it was another gun expert, did a thing where they had shot this same gun and shot the bullet past a bowl of flour and showed how the air disturbance did not even bother, it didn't even disrupt the flour at all. So it's not like the bullet was generating this air thing. It's like there are some weird things about it. And of course there's the guy that is accused of being a crisis actor, who was an old man who was apparently trying to, I think he got arrested for this, but he confessed to, I'm the shooter, I'm the shooter. He had no weapon, and he caused a disturbance. All the police ran over to him, and apparently this gave the real assassin more time to get away. So it's really quite interesting. Let's see. So there's that. Oh, and then this woman cop from Japan saying, "Oh, this man behind Charlie doing the hand signals is putting up a cell phone and kind of shaking his cell phone, and also maybe shooting a bullet from that cell phone, because there are, in her police work, she has become aware of guns that are made to look like cell phones and they actually shoot bullets." Interesting theory, but you know, I don't see any evidence of that. But the hand signals and everything are strange, and I think my son-in-law said that those guys were either Charlie's security detail or security guards, and they were, as they often do in these college events, communicating to other plainclothes policemen in the crowd. That may or may not be true, I don't know, but it's definitely interesting, because it looks like there's, giving signals almost like a third base coach. You run, 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 round third, no. But what's going on? So, and then there's talk about, Kash Patel mentioned they're looking into possible co-conspirators that were apparently months, weeks, hours leading up to the event, going in and out of this guy's apartment. I've heard neighbors talking about out-of-state license plates. And anyways, there's a lot of interesting things being discussed. Who knows? But I think I'll cut this up a little bit. I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna leave this video at that because it's coming up on 15 minutes. Thank you for listening. I hope you find something interesting here, and if you have any other thoughts about what I have just explained, I don't have any dog in this hunt, as they say. So but I'm not opposed to conspiracy theories. But show me some good evidence to that. So, anyways, thank you for listening. Bye bye.